The episode, y'all, and y'all know what it is when we got that split screen. We got Chirac to Jersey and back. I got Carmen in the house. Welcome to the family, girl.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Hoodie, for having me. I'm so excited to be here.
Oh no,
Finally.
thank you. I appreciate it. I know you're a busy lady, so like we always do, we're gonna get right into it. Kind of what's your business name? What do you guys do? How we can reach you, and how long you've been in business. Just talk to us.
Excellent. So I am the owner of Capital Revenue Consultants, which is a medical billing and consulting firm. I like to call it a boutique firm because I don't like the idea of being called a medical billing company, but essentially that is what we do. I've been in business since 2018, so I think this year makes 7 years. Sheesh. Sheesh, that's crazy. So yeah, 7 years. You can find me on Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn. My name is capital.revenue.consultants. And was there another question? I'm gonna miss something.
No, how we can reach you, how long you've been in business, and what you guys do. No, that pretty
Oh,
much
perfect.
covers it.
Okay, so back to what we do. Sorry, I did
Yeah.
skip over that part. Okay. So yeah, so we manage the billing and practices for mental health therapists. So we work with all types in the industry from psychologists to psychiatrists, counselors, social workers, everyone in the private practice sector. So we kind of act as either a virtual assistant, so we do their scheduling, we manage all of the billing, but as of late, I have personally been getting into the training and teaching. So now I teach therapists how to do their own billing and how to manage their time and scale their practices.
Okay, sound like you got a whole lot going on there, and it's thriving. It's getting better each year. So my next question to you would be, why did decide to become a business owner? That transition from employee to employer. What inspired you to do so?
Oddly enough, so I started medical billing classes with one of my best friends, probably like 10, 11 years ago. We took like a 6-month course, had no idea what we were doing, got an internship from our instructor at the time. I ended up getting a job working for an eye doctor. So my first job ever, like 2 months out of school, was working as a billing coordinator for an eye doctor. He was amazing, love him to death. And he told me, like, Carmen, you should start your own billing company. Like, sorry, I have like 2 months of experience. Like, that's crazy. Who would do that? I didn't even, it wasn't even a thought in my mind. I didn't even think that that was a thing that people just have billing companies, right? Like, that's how new and green I was, right? So started working with him, worked with him for years, but he lived like the commute was wild. It was super, super far. So I ended up leaving. I ended up getting a certification. So I became a medical coder and became a medical auditor. And then I went into like advanced. So I got a new opportunity working for a billing company that specialized in optometry and ophthalmology billing. I worked there for 4 to 6 months. I hated it. I thought it was disorganized. I did not like the flow. It just felt so chaotic. And I felt like we were doing such an important job. Like we were financially, like we were responsible for the finances and the welfare of these doctors. And they had people who had no experience just doing any old type of thing. So I wasn't loving it. So I ended up working for a health tech company for a couple years. Wanted to eventually kind of move from Chicago to New Jersey, but knew that one, I needed to find something that had more flexibility and it needed to pay me a little bit more than what billers normally typically make, kind of being employed by an employer. So thought about my first, I guess, employer, and I was like, maybe I should start a billing company. So 2018 is when I did all the legalities and paperwork to get Capital Revenue Consultants started. And that provider, that optometrist, became my first client. So it was like a really weird, kind of cool full circle moment. And from there, so I kind of started in optometry, had another couple of optometry clients, landed my first mental health practice within the next couple months. And from there, seeing the difference between the two billing was just night and day. So I decided to exclusively work with mental health therapists. So the reason why I did this was more money, flexibility, and just kind of creating my own schedule and being able to do the things I really want to do and help providers.
Okay, that's a nice journey, and it looks like you got that kind of that idea, that seed idea from an employer. So shout out to him for kind of putting that in your head and not trying to hold you back and keep you as a good employee, but letting you expand.
That's so true. Shout out to Dr. Frederick Banter.
Shout out, Doc. We love you. We love you over here. All right. So we know that business ownership is not a linear path. It's not smooth sailing. So speak to some of the challenges you had, the pitfalls, and how you're able to push through and kind of grow as a business owner. It's gonna be good. She's drinking water, y'all. She's
I, I only laugh because I feel like you you just never get it. So there's always challenges every single day. I wake up excited and love what I do, but also know that each day comes with its own trials and tribulations. So I think initially starting off, um, things worked really, really well when it was just me. I ended up kind of getting a little overworked, so I ended up outsourcing and hiring people. I think I hired my first person maybe like a year into business. So it was great. It worked out extremely well. I had a couple clients that I told you I had optometry clients that I really didn't want to work with anymore because I wanted to exclusively work with mental health therapists. It just kind of aligned with my values and goals at the time. So I ended up hiring my office manager. So the, for that eye doctor, his manager, I ended up hiring him to work and to do all the billing for optometrists, right? So another full circle moment because he hired me and now I got a chance to hire him. Wild. A lot of full story, a lot of full circle moments happening in my business journey. So he was very, very diligent, hard worker, and he really encouraged me to push and to scale. And he said, "You have the capacity to do extraordinary things, really, really take charge." And he always knew that I'm a work-life balance kind of girl. Like I love a soft life. I love to work hard, but I love to also relax. And so he said, you can scale the business and then you don't even have to work in it and someone else can work for it. So that idea was so appealing to me. So I was like, okay, let's do it. So we just got more and more clients, like bringing them on. But who was doing all the work?
Surprise.
It was me. And obviously, he definitely worked really, really hard with his clients and the things that he was managing. So I just had to hire more people. I think the biggest challenge, and even to this day, my biggest challenge has always been holding on to work and not really delegating. And when I delegate, not always being afraid. So I dealt with a lot of perfectionisms and tendencies to hold on to everything because I wanted to do it. It had to be perfect because I was doing it. And I realized that it was causing a lot of issues and problems for my providers. So it really wasn't the best scenario for them. So that was probably still probably my biggest challenge is really learning to trust people to kind of help me in this journey to fully train them and kind of help them to be their best self. And then not taking on so many clients just to have these clients, right? Like I want to make sure that I'm delivering excellent service at all times and that me and the team are always fully capable. So we've kind of scaled down a little bit and just trying to streamline. That's I think that's the biggest thing is just streamlining, scaling, delegating are some of our biggest challenges because Carmen has no work-life balance. I was just saying I love a soft life and my life for the past 2 years have been real hard. So I think now I have a great team. They're doing fantastic. I'm still trying to teach them. I'm trying to like pour into them, trying to lessen how much interactions I have with my clients on a day-to-day basis so I can really, really focus in on optimizing the team. Um, but yeah, I think that's the biggest thing is like this weird in between period of like, do you really like just go for it, just like go all in, or do you kind of stay where you're comfortable? And I have a hard time staying content because I always want the next biggest thing. But then with that comes managing all of that, paying for all of that. So that's I could talk about this forever, so I'm gonna stop there.
Hey, we love it. This is free game you're giving us. It sounds like you're able to determine and kind of differentiate between working on the business and working in the business, and you have to kind of delegate appropriately for those two separate tasks because they're two different responsibilities.
That is exactly it. Two separate responsibilities. I am a podcast junkie, and some of my favorite people are going to be like Morgan DeBon, Rachel Rogers, like these super, super seven, eight figure entrepreneur, bad A women. Like I love them so much. Um, and they say, like, you get to a point in your business where you have to step back and you can't be in full control. Like, the more in your business you are, the more of a detriment you are to the business because now, as an owner, you're not optimizing in your full owner kind of role because you're trying to play employee and contractor too. So it just, the two don't work. Like, how can I have the vision and be the visionary behind the brand, but then also doing like data entry work? Like, it just, you get to a point where you're just like, girl, like, you're exhausted. Like, you burning out from doing something that you can pay somebody else to do. Um, so yeah, that's definitely the biggest challenge of like learning to step into my CEO role.
Okay, I like to hear that. All right, so one final question, and this is the gem I'd like to make sure our audience leaves with. What would be one piece of advice you give to anybody that's either thinking about building a business and need that extra push, or somebody who's struggling and thinking about possibly giving up and just giving that motivation to keep going? What would you tell them?
Do not give up. Do not give up. It is going to get harder before it gets better. Um, there are so many times where I just said, let me just go get a job. Even this year, I probably thought like I just need to go apply for another job because it just ain't it. Um, but then every day looks different. So just every day do one thing that's closer to your goal. So have your goals fully outlined, written out, know exactly the direction that you're hitting, and then what is something every day that you can do to help you get to that next goal. Some things may take you 5 minutes, some may take you 5 or 10 days, but just do a little something to get to that next step. Also, don't be afraid to lean on other people. Don't be afraid to hire other people. Don't be afraid to be coached and mentored by other people. I think the best thing I've done for my business was hire other coaches and consultants to tell me what to do. Um, it's good to have like a fresh set of eyes. It's good to have different perspectives. Owning a business can feel so isolating sometimes, like, and you have no one to talk to. Like, I want to talk to people on my team of like, here's the next idea, here's the next goal, and they just don't understand, and that's okay. Sometimes they're just not supposed to. So it's really important to have a mentor, have a coach, have somebody who is already where you are or better, because you want to always be reaching towards that next step. So it gets hard. There will be days where you're just over it, but just do not give up because it will pay off. I think one thing, for example, I'm trying to really roll out this teaching program to therapists. Like I've done the I've done the not so much in math, but I've done a lot of research. Like I know that this is what my demographic wants, this is what they need, but how do I put myself out there to let them know that this exists? So I'm not really I'm on social media, but I have somebody managing my social media. I'm not big on reels and I'm trying to do better, but it's just not my cup of tea. But I love to talk on threads. So I've been utilizing the mess out of threads, just talking, just saying random things. And I've had so many people reach out to schedule consultations and they like, girl, I found you on threads and like your vibe was vibing. And so find also like something that works for you. Like everybody's not going to be on YouTube, everybody's not going to be on Instagram having thousands of followers and having millions of people watch your reels. Definitely got sidetracked a little bit, but just find what works for you and stick to what is working and people will see it. Like it took me a year to launch this training course out before I'm starting to get traction. And now people are like, Carmen, I see what you're doing. I want in, and they're paying full price for it. And I dreamed of this last year and now it's like coming and it's like coming in the boatload. So hard work pays off. Stay consistent, stay focused, stay motivated. It's gonna be hard, but when it gets hard, find somebody to talk to.
That's more than one piece of advice. So we're gonna have to rewind that back, play it again.
Rewind
It's a lot of free game right there. That's free game, y'all. Free game she's giving y'all. So make sure y'all rewind and watch again, take some notes. So one more time, Carmen, where can we reach you on socials so we can reach out if we do need some?
Please reach out anytime. Find me at capital.revenue.consultants. And then my website is capitalrevenueconsultants.com.
Okay, you heard it here, y'all. We got from Chirac to Jersey and back. Carmen, thank you again. Appreciate you pulling up. Another episode, y'all, in the books.